Welcome to the Social Impact Level Up podcast. This is where we blur the lines between business, nonprofit, and impact. I'm your host, Wendy V, and in season 3, we're redefining success for social entrepreneurs looking to grow their revenue. If you have reality-changing ideas, this is the place for you. Let's jump right into today's episode. Hey there, what does it mean to live a life of integrative wellness? Well, today I'm here with one of my clients and friends to tell you exactly how you can do that as a business owner and also how you can pursue your dreams and make sure that you're integrating those into your life too. I want to introduce you to my client and friend, Musu Wheeler. And Musu, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell us, who are you and how do you make an impact?
Hello, everyone. My name is Musu Wheeler. I am a physical exercise physiologist. I made an impact by helping people move well and live well. Also to be pain-free, because when we have pain, it limits our movement, and then that causes a way for us to be stressed that don't need to be stressed. So movement is something that's really important to the human body. When we move well, we're happy and we're energetic and we're also having fun.
I love it. And it seems so simple probably to most people, but wellness can be a kind of a nebulous concept. It includes a lot of different things. So when you're thinking about people living a life that's pain-free or is more holistically well, what are you thinking of? Like, what do you consider to include in that umbrella?
You need a comprehensive plan that's mind, body, and physical, and also restorative as well, because we put our body through so many motions, but then we forget to go back and take care of it. You know, that's where the restorative. So I'm a big advocate for restorative therapy. Also, making sure that the mind is right. You know, when we're stressed, we tend to just put it off, like, "Oh, I'm stressed today, and I'm going to be okay tomorrow." That's not how the mind works. It just keeps everything in the back of the memory, and then later on, it builds up, and then where you have this overwhelming stress and anxiety. So it's really great to take care of layers of who you are as a person, and that's from mind, body, spirit, and also restorative therapy. So the full comprehensive.
I think that approach is so fascinating because for some people, they may only get one of those aspects in different places, but to find them all, I guess more than co-located, but offered in the same place is not very common. So that's really your business model is what we're talking about. So do you want to say a little bit more about what you do, here in the Gaithersburg community in Maryland?
Yeah, so at Integrative Health and Wellness, so the goal behind the business plan was to have a one-stop shop. And, if you go to your exercise physiologist, they know how you move. They know your limitations. And then I'm also able to also hear a lot of some of your stress, things that are bothering you. So I can just hand you over to our emotional healer, which is Rafa, or pass you over to James, which is our massage therapist. So we can work together collaboratively and know that, okay, this person needs this, they need this, they need this. So you have an in-house wellness wheel of people that are focused and cater to you. And I think that's important because when you go to different places, they don't really know your history. They're just going by whatever you say. So when I pass somebody around, I'm going to pass them with a referral, knowing that exactly based on my assessment with them, this is what they need to our other specialists.
And you mentioned a couple of the things that you do, but I think people probably have zero idea how many things you do, how many things you actually do in the roof of Integrative Health Recreation. So from my understanding of your business model as your coach, you have definitely total body wellness from weight loss and body sculpting services all the way to, as you said, alternative therapy is what people would be considering sort of the harmonic egg, something that's really on the spectrum of healing and light therapy, sound therapy all together in one. And so I think sometimes people might not know that you have all these tricks up your sleeve as a physiologist. So it's important to let folks know. So when you are doing work with them in your practice and under Musu Wellness, and you're kind of like a group of practitioners all together, which parts of it do you do yourself?
So I do the clinical exercise therapy. I focus on movement. And when I say movement, it's functional movement. So when you get out of the bed, how do you get out of bed? What muscles are you using? What are the proper way to sit down? What are the proper way to get up? What are the proper way to lift things up? And what are the proper way to adjust yourself if you work from home at a desk? is your setup ergonomic correct? Because especially during the pandemic, most of us, we just went home and just started working at our dining table on our couch. So with all of these things, your gaits are going to be out of line. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, what is your gait? Your gait is your shoulders and hip and knee ratios. If those things are out of line, you're going to start having back problems. You're going to start having hip problems. You're going to start having balance problems. So as a physiologist, we study the human body movement. So my goal is to help people move adequately, but move well in the directions that they're supposed to move. So that's what we do here. That's how I contribute to integrative health and wellness along with my team.
And people might think that the contraptions behind you seem a little bit like torture devices, but in reality, these are Pilates apparatus. So good.
Remember, I had someone that actually was a gentleman that came in here. He was like, "That looks like a mouse trap. Are you going to trap me?" I was like, well, we'll see.
Be careful. So tell us how you got into Pilates. Like, what is that about? How did you decide to offer this as part of your business and restorative practices for people's wellness?
So I've had various experience working from the rehab center and also working with athletes and then going into corporate health and wellness. So when I moved into corporate health and wellness, one of the things that I noticed people were facing was back problems, right? Back problems, because when you work in a corporate setting, you're mostly spending 80% of your time sitting behind a screen. And there are people that they will sit there for 4, 5, 6 hours and not move at all. So with that in mind, Pilates is the one thing that really is focused on clinical exercise. It focused on improving your posture. So Pilates, it lengthens you, right? So when we're sitting, we're shortening our muscles, our postures. After a while, your posture start decreasing and decreasing. So what Pilates does is it opens everything back up. It elongates it, it strengthens it, it lengthens it. And that's what we need. So that way we can add inches to our height. So I'm about 5'1", but you can't even tell because I do Pilates. So I stand next to people that are 5'3", and we look like we're about the same height. It's just because my elongation is so much projected versus someone that doesn't do Pilates. They might slouch a little bit. The spine might also start shortening, and they're going to get shorter as they get older. So that's the benefit of Pilates. It keeps you nice and limber and tall.
Yeah, and it's amazing for your core. I think a lot of people need that core stabilization to do basic things like get out of your chair and go up the stairs and all those kinds of things. So, yeah, Pilates. I've done Pilates for years, and I think reformer Pilates and some of the more advanced kind of things that you have. I have never worked on some of the things that you have put me on in our training sessions, and so I will attest to that. Musu definitely knows her Pilates stuff. Want to amplify your impact today? Join my community, the Social Impact Level Up Collective, where social entrepreneurs just like you meet monthly to inspire world-changing ideas. You'll get access to my top courses and resources, speakers, and exclusive community events. Hop in right now at wendyvelos.com/collective. And I know that you do like the assessment part, right? And you kind of help people through looking at the body composition, because that's where, when I started working with you, that's where we started. Can you say a little bit more about your process for just helping to understand people's numbers and why is that important? And, I think a lot of us probably don't know, even what we need to look at when the body scan comes back to us. So talk a little bit about what should we be looking for?
Well, I love body composition because it gives you a layers of things that you don't know about your body. It gives you over 33 measurements. So we use our system here. We use Evo 3D measurements. So it checks your water weight, your muscle mass, your bone density, and it checks even your number. It predicts your age. And which is kind of scary because it can show if either you're on track or off track. So that's another good thing. And with the body compositions, there's no guessing. These are your numbers, and we're going to sit down and evaluate your numbers. And then that helps me create a plan for you. So that way it's individualized and it's customized because it's not one size fits all. Everyone have different things that they're trying to address. So that's what I love about a body composition. It reveals what the anatomy internal is doing inside that you don't know about. and we get to see the physiology aspect of your screening, and then we create something that's customized.
Yeah, I love that. And honestly, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I'm like 6 to 9 months older than I'm supposed to be. So we're like working on getting me to be the correct age. The thing that stands out to me too, I think about the way that you work is you're so focused on the community and thinking about, what can you do to give back? How can you amplify, reaching more people or reaching populations that don't typically come to or can't afford the services that you provide. And I think that's something that not every business owner thinks about. So from the business owner side, can you give us a little bit of perspective about why do you do business like this? Like what made you decide to structure your work in this way?
I think, especially when you have a location that's in the community, you want to make sure that the community is part of your business. And for me, giving back was always something that I just admire, helping people, admire giving back. And then whatever talent that I can offer, my gift, which is what I do, to give to the community in the bigger platform, is something that I appreciate. I know that what we do here, it's can be costly for an individual to come in here paying 101 out of pocket. But however, on the bigger platform, I'll be able to create a service or provide a service for a community base that's not as costly, or that can be less costly or no cost at all. So it all depends. I like to work with organizations that are nonprofit. We partner together, and I can go in and offer my services there as my way of giving back to the community. Because we live in this community, and the only way we're going to make it a better place is by giving our time. And then sometimes if I'm not able to give my time, I donate funds as well. So some of the nonprofit organizations are in the area.
Yes, and we've definitely used the dollars, people, time, and donations framework with your website and with you. And I think you've been really good adapting to the idea that you give in a lot of ways. Were you giving yourself credit for all of the ways you were giving before we started working together?
I didn't know how to. I was just out here just giving myself and my team everything. But Wendy was so great at just compartmentalizing everything together, because for me, I was giving, but I was not really thinking about how much I was giving or how I was gonna implement it into my business plan. So when she came on board, she was able to evaluate and say, like, you give so much, why you're not talking about these things? I was like, well, I never really knew. I mean, I never really, thought about how to put it all in a nutshell. So you, Wendy, I'm grateful and thankful to you, because you have helped me really tailored what my purpose is. And my purpose is really giving back to the community. It's a feel good thing for me. I feel great knowing that I've helped certain group of numbers of people, and knowing that I'm leaving them satisfied in whatever that the impact that I made on them is so important. It's more than making money. I tell you that it's the gratitude of helping people. It feels so good.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think some people don't realize how easy it can be. But we went to a community event recently, and Musu was a table exhibitor, but there were lots of other nonprofits there, and I watched Musu systematically walk up to several of them and say, "Hi, I have an impact mission, and I can help you. What do you need help with?" And she was so firm, like, I am here as a business owner to help you. And I think it was just so amazing to see you own your impact mission in that way, and come up to nonprofits that you saw in the community and said, "Hey, I'm here to serve." And I think they appreciated that. Now, whether they took you up on that generous offer or not, I don't know, but I hope they do. Yeah. So I think we started working together also because you were saying, I'm basically the best kept secret here in my area. There's a lot of things that I offer and I can offer to the community, but I'm having trouble connecting with the right groups and the people that I want to serve. And so we've gone through, I think, and systematically done a few things with your business strategy. But I want you to say in your own words, like, what transformation have you been able to see in yourself? And what growth have you had as a result of really kind of going through this process?
It's secure, right? I feel secure as a business owner now, because I think when you first start as a business owner, you're thinking of just capital, right? Like, how much money I'm going to make? How do I need to? And I think really having a strategic plan and what the vision of the business is. And I think at this point, I'm very content in where the direction that I'm going, because one, I know that I'm making an impact in my community. And also two, and also I'm bringing other people together because, you alone cannot save the world. You need other specialists that work, collaborating with other people is really important. And, and then just focus on slow growth, just building that foundation because like you can build a house, but if you don't have a great foundation on the house, and as soon as the wind blows, that house is gone. So really now I'm at a place where I'm content. I want to focus on a strong foundation and build a community-based health and wellness. A place people think of like, oh yeah, Musu's place. It's a feel-good place. Like this is the house of wellness where you come in limping, where you leave here laughing and feeling good about yourself. Like it's for me, it's a gratitude knowing that when people leave this place, they feel good and they text me, email me, leave reviews. That's my goal. My goal is to make people happy.
Oh yeah, I can definitely attest that I've laughed plenty of times at your place, so I appreciate that. Now, hopefully not limping in, but I definitely have walked out feeling my core more than I walked in. That's the opposite effect. I think it's really cool to hear you say that because I know you are definitely doing something that you love every day, and a lot of other maybe people who are transitioning into entrepreneurship or thinking about, starting their own nonprofit, they're seeing this vision that they have for themselves. They want to be able to do what they love every day, the way they see someone like you doing what you love every day. So talk a little bit more about what is that like for you? How did you make this transition? Like, how are you, getting over challenges? Just inspire some people with your journey.
It's not easy. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy because obviously it's sometimes work turns into play and play turns into work. But for me, being a mother, I used to work in DC. I used to hike to go to DC on the train back and forth. So I was missing a lot of important things in my daughter's life just because of the distance of working back and forth. So opening the business I love helping people. I love exercise. For me, I can do this all day, but turning it into a business was different because I had to learn different things outside of me. It just leave me exercise all day. I'm okay with that. But then when I had to learn the different aspect of business models, then that's when it became work. But, if you're out here, you're inspired, wanted to start your own business, just know that there's so many layers of starting the business. Get with an expert. I wish I would have met Wendy earlier on in the beginning of my business. I would have probably not made as many mistakes that I made, but it's important to get with the experts, get with a business coach like Wendy that can really guide you step by step guide. So that way you have a strong start. I didn't have a strong start, but my foundation is now reconfigured with Wendy because I've been able to now go back and look at things that I was doing wrong and putting it into motions. So becoming an entrepreneur is phenomenal. It's exciting, but don't forget the steps. Get with a coach, get with someone that's an expert because you don't know anything about the layers of even from registering your business to some of the things, the legality, all these things you need a coach to help you through it. So I've been fortunate to meet people like Wendy, and I've been fortunate also being outgoing and being out in the community and giving back also have blessed me to meet the right people to put me in the right direction.
And you did some key things too that along the way have helped. Like you joined your chamber of commerce or several chambers of commerce. You even tried to figure out which one is the best one for you. And you also joined several business accelerators too, right? So you've worked the programs that you qualified for. I think some people forget to do those kinds of things.
Yeah, the county offers, the thing is like, there's information, there's so many opportunities out there, but you have to go and look for it. And also joining organizations like the Chambers of Commerce is going to put you in a position where you're going to know about some of these programs that's out here that the counties offer for small business owner. So I've enrolled in several accelerated programs, and that really helped shape me as an individual because you do have to work on yourself as a business owner and then work on your business at the same time because it can be overwhelming, it can be stressful. But knowing what the model is and the reason why you got started is so important. Don't lose sight of why you started. And for me, losing sight of where I started was like, oh no, we can't have that. Like, because I always wanted to have fun. And as you can see, that's why I have so many toys behind me because I'm like a little bit ADHD because I like to do different things, bounce from one toy to the next toy. And I feel like wellness should be like that. When someone comes in when people come in this place, it's like a toy heaven. right? They get to play and they leave here like, oh, I can't believe we just did this, and that, and that. And you need that. So it needs, so the way your business model is, it needs to project with the location, needs to project with how, what kind of equipments you have in your place. And for me, I wanted a place where someone walks in here, they feel that fun and exciting and, ready to get their hands on everything they see in here. Obviously not too quick, but we work our way up.
Yeah, there's still stuff I'm not allowed to touch yet, guys. So still working on my trust factor. I think it's great to hear you just so excited about your business. And I know that for some people, they feel the opposite, right? They feel the overwhelm, like you mentioned, or the lost, or the early confusion about what am I selling, or who am I? There's so much, like you said, in entrepreneurship of self introspection that's needed for you to really serve others. And I'm sure at some point you went through this journey yourself. So I'm going to ask you the question of this season, which is, how did you have to redefine success for yourself as you moved along so you could either get past something or just continue to grow as a person?
So I had to focus on small wins. Okay. I think we're so focused on the big picture. We forget to also celebrate the small wins. So every year I go back, I look at my wins, my gains. Okay. I started here. And then every year I see growth. So for me, that is so important because, you're not, if you went into business to become a millionaire, then I'm sorry. That's not something it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take for a long time for you to get to that point. So that's realistic idea, right? So for me, once I started celebrating my small wins, then it made me feel great. Like, oh, year one, I was here. Year two, I'm here. Year three. So I can see the trajectory. Like the line is going up. We're not going down, we're going up. So then I can like give myself some grace and then have fun, right? Because if you don't do that, if you're not tracking and celebrating your small wins, you can get stuck in this idea of like, oh, why am I not here? You can't compare yourself to other people. You are individual. Your business model is different than other people. You live in a different city. You live in a different county. You live in a different state. So it's not going to happen overnight, but you have to celebrate the small wins. That's how you're going to build your morale. For me, that's what really helped my confidence and my morale to stay motivated and stay positive.
I appreciate that so much because I think so many times people get in their head thinking about, oh, well, this person came up at the same time as me and they're here and I'm here. Or I was in a business accelerator with that person and now I see them doing this and I'm over here doing this. And it's just so individual how everybody's journey is. The only place you lose is when you fail to continue to play the game. If you decide to stop, that is when you stop, right? But if you continue to keep going, there are always new strategies, always new solutions. That's one of the first things I tell my clients when we start working together, like, be ready for solutions that you didn't realize were there to have been sitting in front of you the whole time. And I'm sure you experienced some of that because a lot of the stuff we did together was not rocket science, right? But it was things that had to be planningful, executed step by step. And the support and having somebody to work with you through that thought process, I think, is the thing that really makes a difference for a lot of folks. And especially you mentioned people who have ADHD. Lots of my clients either have diagnosed or self-identified ADHD. So is it official or unofficial? I'm not sure. But that is what I say to people. I offer business therapy for people who need to get it together. It's really what it is. So I love that. We work so well together. We're like excellent friends. I love you and adore you. I love what you do. And I think the thing that stands out to me about you being not only a good human giving back, but also just having an infectious excitement about wellness and well-being and how people can live their lives better. I think sometimes that's a very like not tangible concept to people, but you've talked to me before about folks who maybe might be battling obesity and not be able to get a surgical procedure because they just don't qualify, or their diabetes is out of control and they're not able to manage it. So even in the extreme cases of, needing to get your wellness together, you still offer support to people. And I want to make sure that we talk about that part too, because I think sometimes people get so challenged that they might not feel confident or comfortable asking for help. So can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit about how people like that can just start to reach out to somebody like you or find somebody like you in case they don't have a Musu in their in their world or in their part of the universe?
I think a lot of people they're afraid, and also it's also a shame, right? We have, in this society we have shame attached to so many things. And I think everyone is not built the same way. Everyone don't have the same issues. Obesity is a disease. It's a disease, and it's a chronic disease for some people. Telling them go exercise, it's not going to help them lose 50, 60 pounds. Now it's beyond, just go exercise and eat right. They need help. And that's why I'm a big advocate for medical weight loss, because I'm just happy for those people now can have another support system along with the exercise and nutrition, so that way they have options, because we're all not built the same. We all don't have the same emotional well-being, emotional eating. We don't have the same way of thinking and mindset, and we don't have the same strength and will, right? And I think being a wellness coach, that's one of the things that you have to identify with the person. You need to put yourself in that person's mind and body and see what they're going through, and what's the best way to help them come up with solutions, because there's solutions for everyone, and there's different tiers to it. So whatever tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, that's the goal, to sit down and come up with the right tiers for you, and look for, I know like everyone lives further away. You don't live in Montgomery County. So if you live in Prince George's County or DC, find someone that their business model fits align with what you're trying to get done. So don't give up. Find a coach, find a wellness center, sit down with them and, do an assessment and really let them know how you feel and see if they can find a solution for you. And also it needs to be a solution that works for you. It can be a broad spectrum where one size fits all, because we are all not the same. We don't have the same issues.
It's
So
really hard to put wellness into a bucket or a program and say that, everybody's going to get the same thing. But, individualized support, integrative approach, you mentioned a couple of other things that are important, like, looking for practitioners that it might have to popcorn it or piecemeal it, but having a team that can help you with your overall well-being. So they might not be all in the same space co-located like you offer, but there's a lot of options so people can kind of right size with what they have in their community. I think that's an excellent point. The last thing I want to ask you before we kind of wrap up is just, you mentioned wellness and being a wellness coach, but how do you, Musu, maintain your own well-being so you can continue to show up and serve other people?
oh my gosh. So I am a big fan of self-care. Self-care is making sure that, you know, you do the things that you enjoy. And I think as we get older, we tend to think having fun is idleness, right? And it's not. I love to dance. So once in a while, if I can go to a dance class and really just have fun, I love to do that. I also love taking care of my body. So, our massage therapist, James, he works on me because I need to be able to move well with him helping me and helping stretch, because it's hard for you to stretch yourself. When you have someone else, then you're able to move towards that threshold. So I do that as well. I get my massages on a monthly basis. And I love to go to a spa and submerge myself in water, red light therapy. I leave my facility because I need to be able to change my mind, right? So I need to be somewhere different. So because when I'm here, all I'm thinking is like work, right? So sometimes you need to change your environment. I love hiking, going somewhere out in the mountains and looking at beautiful views, breathtaking views. Is for me, it makes me feel good. So you need to sit down and write down what is your fun bucket, what is your why, what makes you happy, and no, and those are the things that you need to go back to and put and implement that into your health and wellness routine, monthly routine.
Yeah, I call that your wellness recipe. Like, what are the things that you enjoy doing and you naturally like them that contribute to your well being? And then what are things that help you grow and learn new experiences and not be idle? I think it's important for all of us to have some sort of things that we're doing towards our growth mindset and our goals. So, Musu, it's been so excited to have you on the show. Of course, I always could talk to you forever, but I think it gives people a little bit of insight into you and your story. And I think so inspiring for other entrepreneurs to hear about how you've integrated your impact into your business model model. I know I've gotten a lot of questions about it. So you're definitely raising some eyebrows, and you've been recently interviewed about it too. So lots of work around this going on in your world. I'm excited for the momentum. So tell us, if someone is interested in getting connected with you, how do they find you? And I'm sure they're going to go to your brand new, beautiful website and connect with you. So do a little commercial for yourself and let people know where they can reach out to you.
Yes. So you can reach out there. You can Google us, Musu Wellness, or go to musuwellness.com. And we also have an Instagram page at Musu Wellness as well. We do a free assessment. So, that's a way for us to get to know you, for you to get to know us. And so you can schedule an assessment with us in-house or on the phone. We are at your service. We just want to help people live well and be happy, because that's the most important thing for me. I feel like if we're moving well, we're happy, we're laughing, we're joking. If you're not moving well, you are not happy. You're stressed, because it's important to move well. So let us help you move well in the best way possible.
Yes, I'm coming for my next levels of services that I haven't gotten at your place yet. I'm still on my plan.
Yeah, you need to get the egg. You haven't done the egg yet.
I haven't done the egg. I haven't done red light. I don't even know what else I've got listed for my detox. I've got a whole list over here. So I appreciate you so much, my friend, and it's been lovely to have you. Thank you to all listeners, and come back for another episode. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with another amazing guest. Thanks for joining us for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and we look forward to having you come back. If you're curious about something we shared, make sure you check in the show notes below. And do you want the secret to make your nonprofit or business more sustainable and more profitable? Hop into my Learn, Grow, Thrive University, where I give you exclusive access to resources, mini courses, and templates for free. All you need to do is sign up at wendybelos.com/university. See you next episode.